audible and visible to you?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay. So how are you doing?
I am doing great, ma'am. Thank you for asking. What about you?
Yes, I'm doing well too. Thank you. So can you tell me more
And
about
thank you
yourself?
so much.
Oh,
Yes,
really?
ma'am. First of all, thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity that I could have conversation with you. It's my dream having conversation with you because you are so brilliant and your speaking
Oh.
is quite impressive. So I am little bit nervous is
Hmm.
seeing you alive with me.
That's okay.
So
You can
thank
consider
you
me
so
as
much,
your
ma'am.
friend. No issues.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Mhm.
Tell me about yourself. Where do you live?
Originally, I am from Madhya Pradesh, MP,
Mm-hmm.
and as my husband is working in Ahmedabad, so I've been here since 2018 in Ahmedabad, Gujarat.
So it's been 6 years now.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Hmm. I think by now you must have learned a little bit of Gujarati as well.
No, ma'am, I can understand, but I'm not able to speak because you know what, the Gujarati peoples they are easily can understand Hindi. As
Yes.
Hindi is my native language, so they can understand Hindi. So I didn't need to speak in Gujarati. So I can convey my message in my native language. So that is the reason that I could not able to speak
Mm.
Gujarati.
Okay, that's okay. I think there's no necessity for it because I think many people
Ye-
of Gujarat also understand Hindi and they can talk Hindi also.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Mm. So you tell me about your family and what are your hobbies?
Ma'am, in my family is I'm living here in nuclear family.
Okay.
So me, my husband, and I'm blessed with one daughter. She is 1.5 year old. Now
Mm-hmm.
she is sleeping, so that's why I'm able to connect with you. My husband is on job, and I'm living alone here, so I need to take care of her all time.
Mm.
And yes, ma'am.
What do you do when you have leisure
And
time?
um, ma'am, I listen English podcast. Sometimes English news, English podcast, and your videos, and some of other YouTubers' video.
Mm-hmm.
And sometime whenever my daughter take my mobile, that time I read book.
Okay.
So and I rarely get some free time because
Yeah.
I need to do all household chores.
Mm.
So whenever she sleeps, I complete those works and then I just try to improve myself by listening videos.
Mm. So
And
any specific reason why you're looking at learning or improving your communication skills or English?
yes, ma'am. Actually, ma'am, it is my passion that I want to see myself speaking fluently without any hesitation and confidently. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to understand English very well, but when I realized that whenever it comes about speaking, I always get stuck, and I always run lack of vocabulary also.
Mm.
So I first then I thought that I should improve. I should work on my speaking also.
Mm.
Then I just started conversing with my husband in English sometimes, but only for few times I speak in English.
Mm.
Otherwise, I start speaking in Hindi with him. So then
Mm.
I go through many channels that they are conversing videos. So the conversational videos are really helpful for me.
Mm-hmm.
Then I thought let us just have conversation with the trainer so that I'm able to learn something new. Because
Mm.
I'm having conversation with co-learners on some app, but it is not that much helpful for me. Because
Mm.
I learn know any new vocabularies. And if I make a grammatical mistake, if I am not able to construct a sentence, so they are not making me correct. So I thought just let us have conversation with some trainer. So whenever I make mistake, they correct me.
Hmm. Okay.
Yes.
So you're not learning
I just
anything
want
new.
to, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I just want to see myself speaking confidently in a public place. Cause in alone, whenever I'm alone and whenever I know that someone is inferior than me, then I can speak him or her very well. But whenever I know that someone is superior than me, that time I lose my confidence and I get stuck. And
Hmm.
I realized that if I make a mistake, then he or her make fun of me. And if I'm educated, so I think I realized that I need to speak in English.
Hmm.
And
I
you
think
know
it
that
is
English is a global language, so if we are educated, so we should speak in English also.
correct, correct. Yes. There is all, no matter what you do, people are ready to tell something to you. You're educated and you
Right,
don't
right.
speak English, or something you're educated and you're not working. So there are a lot of tags attached to it. Yeah, because nowadays
Yes,
I see a lot of homemakers who are showing interest in learning English because not because they want a job or something. It's just for passion. Maximum homemakers say that I want to learn English for passion. So, do you interact on video calls to homemakers, or how exactly are you practicing with co-learners?
recently, ma'am, I just connected with them on audio. Uh, some of some of them like on Josh Talk app. I
Mm, okay.
installed that app, and that time I only get connected with them audio call on a audio
Only
call.
on audio
So
calls. So, is this your first
only
video
audio.
session?
This is, yes, ma'am. This is my first video session, and I'm a
Uh,
little bit nervous that it is my first, and I'm
mm.
conversing with you like you are so
No,
brilliant, ma'am.
but you are very good. It's worth appreciating because you have a lot
Oh,
of
thank
courage.
you.
You're smiling, you're happy.
Thank you
You
so
are
much,
able to
ma'am.
talk. You are able to talk, but sometimes when it happens that we are very nervous, we are not able to talk. We are just blank on the screen. We are looking at the person.
Right.
We are waiting for them to speak, and we are just answering them. That happens. But I would say you're a very confident person. Though you're nervous, you're able to talk this much. So it is not just about talking to trainers. Learning is not only in terms of communication or English. Learning in terms is in terms of whole personality. Because by communicating with co-learners also, there is always something that you will learn. But video calls are difficult. So try to connect with people on video calls. It will give you confidence. Even if they are inferior, not inferior, I would say they do not speak as good English as yours. Doesn't matter whether they are beginner, intermediate, advanced. Just keep talking to people because that will give you confidence. And you will feel that there are so many people like you, like me, who are learning, who are trying to improve. So it will improve your personality on a whole. It is also important to stay connected to people just by having conversations. That is also one aspect that we have to improve because English is a language for communicating, right? Like we are just considering it as English,
Right.
English, English, but it is just a language for communicating with people. So we have to be good at communication. They are interlinked. What will you do with English when you're not able to talk to people, when you don't have that confidence and the communication skills? So it is important. Talk to anyone. That's okay. Connect to daily to one co-learner or a YouTuber through video calls. That will improve your personality on a whole.
Sure.
Mhm. So, what is your educational
So, ma'am,
qualification?
I want. Yes, ma'am. I did my engineering in
Oh, wow.
information technology. Yes, ma'am.
I'm
You
an
are also
engineer
an
too.
engineer. Yes, ma'am. You are also an engineer. And ma'am, I just want to know that your background is English. That as I've seen in many of your videos, that you are familiar with English since your childhood.
Yes.
So how do you know that people are suffering from speaking English means nowadays, as
Hmm.
most of the people, their English communication is not that much good. So, how do you realize that you are not suffering from English, and never in past also you didn't face any difficulties while speaking in English? So, uh, how did you realize that English is must and you should help people to overcome this problem? Because
Yes.
you didn't face this difficulty. That is the question.
Hmm. Yeah. See, I did not learn English for the sake of learning English. It just happened to me. I was in an environment, I went to English medium school, and my dad also was encouraging me all the time to just talk in English because it seemed more sophisticated and people from good backgrounds, or you will look good when you grow up and you're talking in English, you will get a lot of respect. With that angle, he started talking to us in English. So ever since then, I've been learning English. It is not that I never suffered because of it, because I didn't keep it in my mind that I'm learning this language. That pressure was never there that I have to speak perfect grammar. I didn't know grammar. I didn't know vocabulary. I was talking, but I didn't know that this thing is called vocabulary. This thing is called grammar. This is called as modal verbs. I didn't know that. It happened by accident when I started. Like my English is okay, I thought, and then I started applying for a trainer position. Once I got selected there, I realized that there are a lot of people who do not know English. So that is when I started my YouTube channel, and suddenly I was bombarded with all these problems of people that we are getting stuck, we are forgetting words. That never happened to me. Maybe I encountered the same problems, but I was not able to label them. Like even I am getting stuck or I'm forgetting words. When I was learning, the pronunciation was really bad at school days because I went to school in the 90s. So the teacher's pronunciation, our pronunciation, we never focused much. Like these days, there is advanced vocabulary, there are phrases. Nothing was there when I was learning. So I wouldn't say I struggled, but it was my choice. All the time I would talk in English. So subconsciously I learned English. Yeah. Now after getting into
And
training, I'm realizing that people are having issues on all of these issues.
and ma'am, I have realized that most of the people they can speak English very well, but by their intonation means they did not work on intonation. And this problem is also with me that anyone can recognize very well that I am not from English background. So how means we should improve our intonation?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Like
I I
your
watched
baby is
your
crying.
shadowing technique. Oh
I
yes,
think.
yes, ma'am. Actually, she is back up.
Okay. Do you want to take her? Like,
Yes, ma'am. If you don't mind, so
yeah, that's okay. Take her. Okay. Right. So, yeah, you were asking about intonation. I think you meant accent because intonation is
yes,
like highs and lows of your voice. Like when we speak in a particular rhythm, like highlighting, when you say a particular word, you're highlighting it in a loud voice, but by the end of the sentence, you go down. The highs and lows of your voice, that is intonation. But I think you asked that when I'm talking, people are able to recognize that I am not from an English medium. So in that sense, I think that you meant to ask about your accent, like mother tongue influence. Whenever you talk, people are able to recognize that you are from a Hindi speaking background, right? Was that your question?
yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah. That thing is the last thing to get rid of. So try not to focus on it first. Try to involve yourself with English, learn proper accuracy, grammar, vocabulary, learn this and learn talking to people. For that, you can do shadowing practice. You also mentioned that, right? Shadowing
Yes.
practice, if you do, that is very beneficial for you. You have to pronounce words and the sentences as how the speaker is pronouncing, how they are talking. If you keep copying that, if you keep following this practice for a long time, so that can be corrected.
Sure, ma'am.
Mm.
And ma'am, what about constructing a sentence? Sometimes I make grammatical mistakes, and whenever I need to speak any sentence is in a passive voice. So definitely I
Mm.
make a mistake. Because
Yeah.
passive
So
voice sentences are really difficult to speak for me.
mm, try to do more exercises on that. Also, you can do reading, a lot of reading. And do you have a practice of writing? Do you write anything?
No, no, ma'am, not yet.
See, writing is very beneficial for you if you want to improve your sentence structure. Like for it is also for people who say that we cannot frame longer sentences. For them, writing is an excellent exercise because you will have a lot of time when you're writing to think, write. Because writing and speaking both are output methods, right? So you practice writing, stop and think how you can make the sentence longer. Just take a small sentence like he is sick, so then try to elaborate that he's sick today, something like that. Well, he's sick today. Like that, try to make longer sentences. And because you will have time to think, you can do that. And if your particular area is about passive voice, try to write more in that voice. Maybe you can describe any event or describe somebody else's life. So that way you can practice your weakness by writing. Yeah. Any other
And
question?
ma'am, what about the yes, ma'am. Ma'am, what about consistency, ma'am? Because
Mhm.
consistency is must for anything, any new
Yes.
we want to
Yes.
learn.
Yes.
Consistency is must. So how we
Mm.
can be consistent in any field? So
Yeah. See, if you really love something, you are going to be consistent with it. That is the moral of the story. If you love something, you're going to be consistent with it. Also, you're not under pressure, right? There might be people who are working and who need an upgrade in their career or who are looking for work. So for them, it is a must and should. It is, they have to work for it. So they will definitely be consistent. Or people who have joined some spoken English platform, they will be consistent. But for us, other learners who are just learning because we want to learn English, it is difficult to stay consistent, but then you have to manage time for yourself. Like you, it's better that you make it your habit rather than focusing it as a learning method. Like I have to learn English rather than having that attitude. Just have a habit. Whatever you're listening, listen in English. It's quite easy. Keep thinking, keep reading. So that will create consistency on its own. Just make it your habit.
ma'am, should we take any paid course for English speaking? Like there are many platforms like Clapping or English Diary. Should we take those courses for enhancing our skill? Because we were with the trend. So will it be helpful for me if I want to improve my skill?
Yeah, see, for consistency, it will definitely be helpful. But for you, I would say you are already having calls, right? Audio calls. I would also say try to connect on video calls as well to people because you appear to be quite confident and you're not in a rush that I have limited time and within this time I need to learn English. So that is not the case with you. So I would say it's okay, take your sweet time, keep talking to people and improve gradually. Consistency is important. Maybe like in 6 months, keep a target for yourself. In 6 months, I have to improve. And I think you will improve by yourself. You don't have to, like in your case, I would say you don't have to join any platform or invest there. Just be consistent with your practice. Keep talking to people. That's enough.
Okay, ma'am. And could you please recommend any other thing like any book or any channel on which we can learn something?
Yeah. Books, I would say you can refer dictionaries like Ren Martin dictionary where they have a lot of vocabulary. So since your issue is that you forget vocabulary, so you can get uh, recommendations from there. You can refer that book and you can learn. One thing is that you, if possible for you, try to watch the news or read the newspaper. So it will, if every day a newspaper is coming to your home, you will be reminded that you have to read it. So rather than buying a book, I would say you can read a newspaper because you get good, very good language in newspapers. So follow, at least try first day, try to go through headlines, whichever article you feel that it is interesting. So you can choose that article and read. So like that, you can read the newspapers if you're interested, Bollywood magazines. So if you're interested, whatever interests you, you read that thing. Reading is really beneficial, and nowadays the writers, the language that they use, it's very good. So I would definitely recommend like go through newspapers or articles, news articles. That will be beneficial. Hmm.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, then. So we will end the session.
Any other tips, ma'am? Any other tips if you want to
Yeah,
give
tip
me
I
any
would
other tip?
definitely stay. I would definitely tell you that do not just be waiting to talk to trainers or fluent speakers, because that way you will be wasting a lot of time. We will, people who are busy, they will take time to get back to you. So in that meanwhile, yeah, you can contact everyone. In that time also, you will have at least one speaking partner on video calls, and it is kind of entertaining. It is a fun way of learning by meeting and talking to people, like-minded people. So I would say just for the pleasure of it and to make the learning enjoyable and fun, I would say connect with everyone possible and talk to them.
Okay, ma'am.
Hmm.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me your precious time and
You're
giving me
welcome.
these
Thank you too.
tips. Thank
Thank you
you,
too
ma'am.
for joining. Good luck. Take care. It's really nice talking to you.
Uh, Take care to you, ma'am. Okay.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye, ma'am.